The federal government negotiated lower drug prices for patients on Medicare. That sounds like an unambiguous win, and for patients, it largely is. But here's a question nobody's really talking about. What happens to the pharmacy in the middle? The one that has to buy a drug at a high cost, dispense it at a negotiated low price, and then wait weeks for a manufacturer to send back the difference. Welcome back to Poli-Pharmacy. I'm Halpern, and today, we're diving into the Medicare Drug Price Negotiation Program, one of the most sweeping changes to how prescription drugs are paid for in the history of Medicare. And we're looking at it from the angle that matters most to pharmacists. What this program is actually doing to your bottom line, your cash flow, and your patients' access to care. I spoke with Ronna Hauser, Senior Vice President of Policy and Pharmacy Affairs at the NCPA, 2 months into the program's launch. What she shared should be required reading for every practicing pharmacist in the country right now. Let's start with the basics. The Medicare Drug Price Negotiation Program, or MDPNP, was created by the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. For the first time in history, it gave Medicare the authority to directly negotiate prices for drugs with manufacturers. Before the IRA, Medicare was legally prohibited from doing this. Part D plans negotiated separately, but the federal government itself was kept out of the room. That changed with the IRA. CMS selected 10 drugs for the first round of negotiations, all high-cost, single-source branded medications with no generic or biosimilar competition. These are drugs like Eliquis, Jardiance, Xarelto, Entresto, and Enbrel, medications that patients on Medicare rely on daily and that have historically carried enormous price tags. The negotiated prices, called the Maximum Fair Price, or MFP, took effect January 1st, 2026. The MFP represents roughly a 60% discount off of the wholesale acquisition cost for most of these drugs. For Medicare Part D beneficiaries, that means significantly lower out-of-pocket costs. That's the policy goal, and on that front, it's working. But to get these savings to patients, the drug still has to flow through a pharmacy. And that's where the story gets complicated. Here's the mechanism. And this is important to understand because it's the source of all of the financial stress that pharmacies are facing right now. When a patient fills one of the 10 negotiated drugs at your pharmacy, here's what happens. Your pharmacy purchases that drug from the wholesaler at a price based on the wholesale acquisition cost, which is the going market rate, and it's high, especially for these specialty brand name drugs. The pharmacy dispenses the drug. The PBM pays you at the point of sale of the maximum fair price, which, remember, is about 60% below WAC. So you're unfortunately underwater. Then separately, the manufacturer is supposed to send you a refund, called a settlement payment, that brings your reimbursement up to something reasonable. The problem is that refund. It doesn't come at the point of sale. It comes later, through a new federal infrastructure called the Medicare Transaction Facilitator, or MTF, and it's coming along slowly. According to the NCPA's survey of over 500 independent pharmacy owners, 2 months into the program, 67% reported waiting 22 days or more for manufacturer refunds. For 22% of respondents, the wait stretched beyond 28 days. Meanwhile, your wholesaler wants to be paid in 14 days. So you're floating thousands of dollars of inventory costs for weeks, every single month. NCPA's financial analysis put a number on it. The average independent pharmacy is absorbing roughly $11,000 in weekly cash flow shortfalls under this program. Annualized, that works out to about $43,000 in revenue loss per pharmacy per year, roughly equivalent to a pharmacy technician's entire salary. And that's just the average. High-volume dispensers are floating significantly more money. This is what the NCPA is calling a structural flaw. The program was designed to benefit patients, and it does. But the cost of running the infrastructure was placed almost entirely on small business pharmacies that were given no buffer, no advance funding, and no guarantee of timely payment. The cash flow issue is the headline problem, but the NCPA survey revealed a second layer: administrative burden. 78% of pharmacy owners reported problems reconciling claims under this program, and 28% said they lacked the necessary information to match Medicare Transaction Facilitator payments back to their original prescription claims. Partly because the manufacturer refund program, called Beacon, cannot always provide a prescription number with the payment. So pharmacies are receiving money they can't easily attribute to a specific transaction. That's an accounting nightmare for any small business. Now here's the number that should alarm everyone in this space: patients, policymakers, and pharmacists alike. 49% of independent pharmacy owners are now considering not accepting one or more Medicare Part D contracts for 2027. And 64% are considering not stocking negotiated drugs at all. Think about what that means for a moment. The entire premise of the Medicare drug price negotiation program is that lower prices make drugs more accessible to patients on Medicare. But if the pharmacy down the street from a Medicare beneficiary stops stocking those drugs or stops taking their plan entirely, the lower price means nothing. Access is gone. For patients in rural areas, in pharmacy deserts, for patients who depend on their community pharmacists for medication counseling and continuity of care, this is not a theoretical concern. It is very real and very near term of a threat. I put these numbers directly to Ronna Hauser, and what she told me was candid, urgent, and worth hearing in full. Let's go to that conversation.
We've always said that we need certain things to be in place for this program to work for pharmacy, and ultimately we're trying to benefit the patients, number one. That's what this is all about. The Medicare beneficiaries, we want them to obtain these medications at the lowest, out-of-pocket price possible. So in order for this system to work, we've always said that payments have to flow as fast as possible. We would greatly hope that as this system grows and expands, there's more drugs being added, and everyone that is involved in the system gets more comfortable with it, that again, payments can be sped up. So that's something we're working on collaboratively again with CMS and with all the partners up and down the supply chain. If payments can be sped up, and if the manufacturers continue to reimburse or refund our members at that standard default refund amount, and if the PBMs continue to pay at point of sale the maximum fair price, we feel that this program, can work and be improved upon.
Ronna laid out the landscape with precision. So here's what that means practically if you are a pharmacist watching this right now. First, understand the two payment structure. Under the MDP-NP, you are getting paid in two pieces: a point of sale payment from the PBM at the maximum fair price, and a separate manufacturer refund that arrives later. You need to know both amounts and track them independently. The PBM payment should be at no less than MFP. The manufacturer refund should come in at the standard default amount. If either of those deviates, flag it and report it to the NCPA. Second, monitor your refund timelines. Document exactly when manufacturer refunds are arriving. The NCPA is actively collecting this data to pressure CMS and manufacturers for faster payment. Your data matters. Third, watch the authorized generic situation. As Ronna mentioned, there is at least one authorized generic in the current MDP-NP drug list that is being refunded at a different and lower rate than the branded equivalents. This is an open issue that the NCPA is investigating. If you are dispensing authorized or negotiated drugs and your refund amount seems off, that is likely why. Fourth, make informed 2027 contracting decisions. You have until contracting season to evaluate whether participating in Part D plans that include negotiated drugs is financially viable. Run your numbers. Consult NCPA's resources. Don't make that decision in the dark. And fifth, stay engaged with advocacy. NCPA has sent a formal letter to CMS Administrator Mehmet Oz demanding faster payments and program reforms. The more pharmacists who make their voices heard through NCPA, through their state associations, through their congressional representatives, the more leverage there is to fix this problem before it becomes a full-blown access crisis. The Medicare drug price negotiation program is not going away, and it shouldn't. Lower drug costs for Medicare beneficiaries is a legitimate and important goal. But a program that achieves patient savings by transferring financial risk onto independent community pharmacies without fixing the payment structure is a program that is building towards a crisis. And Ronna and the NCPA are doing the work to prevent that from happening. Thank you again to Ronna and the entire NCPA team. The full interview is available at pharmacytimes.com. Link is in the description below. If this episode was useful, share it with a colleague who needs to understand how this program actually works at the pharmacy level. I'm Halpern. This is Poli-Pharmacy. We'll see you in the next episode.